Hello, welcome to Hawaii. Gina, get out of here. This is how you crunch a deal on property market intel. Okay, a serviced accommodation deal, a rent to serviced accommodation deal, a BRR to serviced accommodation deal. This is the serviced accommodation aspect. Okay, so many. Turn that phone on silent, please. So many deal sources. Landlords trying to look into the potential of their property. These kind of people using this software use it completely wrong, and you can get caught out and lose a crap ton of money because you can actually accidentally think that a deal's good when actually it's not that good at all. So yeah, I'm just going to talk you through how I do this. By the way, my team and I have crunched over 1,000 rent-to-rent serviced accommodation deals using this software. So I would call myself an expert, in the field. So yeah, this is how it goes. So property market intel, here we go. You come up here and you go serviced accommodation. Over here, you have the valuation tool. Okay, get a 12-month rental projection, cash flow, and returns. This is what we want. So I'm clicking that, okay? This, by the way, is if you have a specific property address and you want to look into one property. It's not looking into a general area like the Southeast or Cambridge or, East London. It's more specific, okay? So we're going to click that. And as you can see here, I have crunched loads. Let me make this smaller. I've crunched loads and loads and loads and loads of these deals. Okay, these are all deals for my investors mostly, but you can see here as the list just goes on and on and on and on. So I've used this a long time. Okay, so I'm going to teach you all of the tricks and just make sure that you're looking at the deal correctly. So stay with me. Now I want to do this like a completely new exercise. I'm just going to say map, UK map. Let's just say London, okay? Should come up here. Now I'm literally going to use this as an exercise. I'm going to go like this and then just stop my mouse, and then wherever it is, I'm going to choose the biggest city nearby. Okay, so let me go. Can I zoom in? Yeah, okay, so I'm going like this there. Okay, so Cambridge. Okay, so Cambridge, as you can see, I'll stop there. Let's look into Cambridge. Let's literally look somewhere over here, anywhere here. Okay, so I'm just literally going to take a screenshot here of that. Okay, oh my word. In Cambridge, please give me this area. So it's just going to give me a postcode. Okay, there we go. Bob's your uncle. We're using that. Okay, I'm going to say it is a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. Okay, so here we go. So you come over here, ladies and gentlemen, after going to your 12-month valuation thing, you go there, you put in the postcode. Now, it does not technically have to be the exact property. Of course, postcodes are not very big, okay? So it technically can be any property. Let's just say it was the number 11, okay? So we're going to say here it's a 3-bedroom property. What did I say? 1 bathroom, 2 doubles and 1 single room, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guests. Now, you can obviously have a sofa bed, but realistically, there's not going to be someone staying in that, every single stay on that sofa bed. So I usually am a bit more conservative and I'll just say 5 guests instead of 6, 7 like you could fit in. So we're going to go search, and this is what most people do. Okay, most people would punch this in, and then take this information, the occupancy and the nightly rate, as gospel. Okay, now that is the worst thing you can do, and I'm going to explain why. So this is auto-generated by Property Market Intel, using AI and stuff, and you can see that already. So it's given 12 comparables. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's cool. You can see where they're located. Pretty good spread, they're not too far away, but you can see here that instantly they've included houses with 2 full bathrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 bed, 1 bath, and again another 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom house. Like look at this one is a lot higher than this one. This one's 226. This is a 3 bed, 1 bath house. You can see how, because it's included these 3 bed, 2 baths that are all relatively high, it's going to probably bring the average nightly rate up. Okay, and that, if you're looking at it and just auto generating it, you are potentially taking on a bad deal thinking that it's good. So how do we go about changing this and doing it correctly? Okay, so we know it's a 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom. Okay, I'm going to say medium spec. We're going to go here to edit comps, and what I personally do is I delete every single comp. Comp is a comparison, okay, comparable. So I'm going to delete all of these, and then I'm going to choose a custom or 8 custom ones. So I'm going to go down here, set that to 1 mile, 0 to 1 miles. You want to set that as a 3 bed. To be fair, usually I don't touch this one. I don't really touch the guest, to be honest. But here we go. Do we want to include a 3 bed, 2 bath? No, we don't, because ours is a 3 bedroom, 1 bath. Okay, so instantly no, cool. There's a 3 bed, 1 bath, as you can see here. So I browse through the photos. Okay, cool. Let's say ours does not have parking. Okay. This one says with driveway parking. So it initially included that, okay, into the comparables. And you can see why, like, obviously people are going to pay more for a property with free parking than a property with no free parking. So instantly that's not a good comparison, because you should not be including properties with parking if yours does not have parking. It just says here with parking driveway. So instantly that's out. I'm not looking at that. I'm on to the next one. So large, beautiful, luxury flat in central London. I mean, in central Cambridge. That is obviously a little bit, there's nothing really wrong with that. Obviously it's a flat compared to a house. Houses are more desirable. If I'm looking at a flat, I'm trying not to include any houses if there's enough comparables, because houses have gardens, they're usually bigger, they're more desirable, and there's less neighbors below you, above you, things like that. But to be more conservative, if you're looking at a house, you can add flats technically. So photos look good. There's nothing wrong with this. 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom. This is pretty close as well. Does it have parking now? Let's click that. Hopefully it's going to show us. Okay, cool. So I'm going to quickly scroll down here and look if it has parking. So it does not have parking. It would have said so here somewhere. Okay, so happy days. We can use that as a comparable. So we can add that. So you add that. Here's a Victorian 3 bedroom house with courtyard in Cambridge. You see, so I can tell now it's got parking. Okay, how do we double confirm, or obviously I know because usually it's in this, or you can see it in the photos, or you can click this and see if it's got parking, which you just scroll down, free parking on premises, instantly, boom. So I'm not going to use that as a comparison because that's going to bring the nightly rate up and it's not a fair comparison. 3-bed 2-bath, I'm ignoring that. Lovely garden. So I can't see the photos in this one. That's annoying. It might have been removed from Airbnb for whatever reason. No, it hasn't. Does it have parking? It might not have parking. Paid parking off premises. Okay, cool. So we could technically use this if it's not super luxury. It's pretty standard. Standard kitchen. Perfect. So super fast. That's a good comparison. We can add that in. Happy days. You get the gist, okay? So again, this is a 3-bedroom 1-bath. It is cool. It is pretty modern. Staged nicely. Let's have a quick look here. Does it have parking? Okay. So the reason we're doing this so deeply is because if I'm selling a deal for investors, I want to make sure that, you know, we are being as conservative as possible. It says free parking on premises. Instantly, I'm not looking at that one. So we're going next. Now this can be tricky because can we get this to get bigger? It can be tricky because sometimes there's not enough comparables, okay? Now I'll show you what we can do if there's not enough. So 3-bed 1-bath. So instantly this one is super expensive. I'm not even going to include that one, okay? That's called an outlier. I call that an outlier. How are you getting on it? Good, perfect. Sorry, I got my beautiful girlfriend crunching deals there. 3-bed 1 terrace. Okay, blah 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 blah. Look through the photos quickly. Similar spec to ours. Does it have parking or not? Let's click that. So usually if it's not here, quite often it doesn't have parking, but you've got to scroll down. Okay, car park off premises, no parking there. So we can add that one.
You're getting a call, do you want that?
No, that's probably scam. Okay, a lot of spam calls. Okay, so that's the one. So we're going to include that. Close the courtyard. Again, same thing. Does it have parking? By the way, usually I always try to only look for properties. I don't know if these are all, properties that are over 300 nights available. I mean, over 200 nights available. Sometimes, if there's not enough comparables, I will drop that, okay? I want to know that this property is running all year round so that it's the most accurate numbers. If this is only available for 3 months, let's say 90 days, only in the summer months, then potentially, oh no, this happens. Sometimes this happens with my laptop. Very annoying. I need to start that again. But sometimes it will mess the numbers and the occupancy up. Of course, in the summer months, it might be 95% occupancy. So if this said 90 days available, 90%, £350, I don't want to use that property because that most likely is only available for the summer months. Likewise, if it's only available for the winter months, it's going to have also like lower occupancy and lower nightly rates. I don't want to add that, okay? So if possible, I want it to be over £200 days available. But if I've gone through all the comparables and it's not possible, then I'll start adding ones that are below. So even if some are below and the numbers and the occupancy look in line with the others, it is okay to use them because a lot of the time when people get direct bookings, then they just block the calendar out rather than adding it through their channel manager. So when they block it out, it shows that it's available for less days, okay? So I once had like a 9-month direct booking and I blocked the calendar out for 9 months. And when I was looking on in that area a year later on Property Market Intel, it only said that I had like 90 or like 100 days available, and that was why. Okay, but obviously it was available 24/7. So anyway, unfortunately, we're gonna have to start that again because my computer occasionally does that. But I wanted to show you here, like, let's take note. So it says 214. Okay, 214. Just remember that. It's quite easy to remember. That was the initial number. So we're gonna go here again. I'll make this one a lot faster because I kind of know what comparables to use and which ones to not use. No. This one's got parking. Did we use this one? No, we did it. I mean, yeah, we did. So we used this one. That one's got parking. I'm pretty sure we used this one. And this one. That one was too high. And then we were about to add this one. And this one. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got 5 out of 8, so we need to add 3 more comparables. Okay, by the way, cheapers, what's happening here? Is that 1 mile away? So you do need to be aware, like, of this as well, because you see, like, initially it added these properties super close to it, but they weren't good comparables because there were different sized bathrooms and properties with parking XYZ. I'd rather look at comparables within 1 mile that are the same spec, same size properties to be safe. Obviously Cambridge is not very big, so it's quite a large spread, but again, when I'm explaining this to investors and I'm going through the due diligence, this is what I want to see. I want to see 3-bed, 1 bath, 3-bed, 1 bath, 3-bed, 1 bath, 3-bed, 1 bath. Like, I want everything to kind of line up for the property that I'm presenting them. That one's too big. 3. Okay, does this have parking? Free on-street parking. Okay, again, I'm not going to add that. Why? Because ours does not have parking. Close to train station. This place probably doesn't have parking. Okay, free parking on premises. It does. Okay, so boom. This is obviously an apartment. It's fine if you're looking at houses because you are being more conservative. Okay, so this place doesn't have free parking. Yeah, it doesn't mention it. So cool, I can use that as a comparison. Happy days, that's a 3-bed, 2 bath. Now, what are we going to do? Okay, guys, I would personally not now look for properties within 1 to 2 miles because obviously the market here is completely different to the market over here where some of the comparables might be. So I would rather keep it close and then downsize, okay? I'm always trying to be conservative. I suggest you do the same if you're looking at properties for yourselves or if you're sourcing for other investors. So I'm keeping it 1 to 2 miles distance. I'm looking at now 2-bedroom properties. Now, because we are looking at 2 beds, I do want to go for the better looking 2 beds, the ones that are priced better, okay? Because obviously we are trying to get a 3-bedroom comparison. So you can see here, like, this isn't looking too bad. Like, I would rather use, looks like all the properties are doing pretty well around here. I do know Cambridge is an excellent area to invest. But here we go. So same thing. So cool 2-bedroom property. This actually looks like a nice, like a 2-bedroom house. Sometimes I would almost include this having parking, because maybe that balances out not having the third bedroom. So free parking on premises, obviously because it's kind of in line with these prices, obviously it's a little bit less, even though it does have parking. It's a 2-bed, so I am happy to include this one. Okay, let's look at that. That's more of a flat with a terrace. That's kind of completely different. 2-bedroom home. This looks nice. Okay, so looking nice, 2-bed. I'm going to add that one. Now we just need one more. Cool, that's looking fine. One more. As you can see, as you're going out of the way, this one's close by. 0.1, 0.2. See, I wouldn't add that. That's obviously like a low outlier. Okay, you can see by this photo, it's not professional at all. A 2-bed, 2-bath, you can include. Okay. Again, I'm going to be conservative. I'm just going to add this in there. I know it'll bring things slightly down. It's got free parking. You can see here it's a little bit low. I would add that in rather than adding all like of the best like this one here, 2-bed, 1-bath, like 300, 200. I'm not going to include this one, 3.3. I feel it's safer to do this one. I think it was, I can't really find it now, but here, this one, 2-bed, 1-bathroom. It's an apartment, or you can find like a house. Okay, so this one does look better. Let's go with this. Okay, bosh. Even though it's a 2-bed, 2-bath, again, it's making up for missing a bathroom. Now we're going to regenerate this. So I think that the ADR might even increase. There we go. It has actually increased. So initially you could have thought that that deal wasn't maybe good enough. Maybe you were £5-10 short from making it a good deal. But when you actually went through the comparables properly, yes, they are obviously further away. These are obviously more in central Cambridge, so maybe these weren't the best comparables to use. You know, it's always where you can click this and it can tell you which one it is. So you know what, let's actually, I don't want anything right here in central. Obviously that's way more desirable. So what I can do is click there, very central, pretty 3-bed house, and then modern and spacious. So very central, modern and spacious. So we can go like this, edit comps, very central. So I'm going to delete that, pretty and spacious. Modern and spacious. Okay, so bang, bang. I'm deleting that. So now I'm going back here and looking for, I know we've gone through all the 3-beds. Let's stick to the 2-beds. Let's add, again, I'm trying to be conservative, okay? So I'm going to add that, I'm going to add that. Okay, as you can see, they're obviously a lot closer by. Again, like if I'm looking at a property here, I don't want all of my comparables to be like in this area, because of course that's closer to central. I don't like that. Here's an even spread. This one's further out, that one's further out. You know, you kind of in the middle. So that's looking good. So you can regenerate. Again, now that I've got, well, it says I've got 9 comparables. Again, you need 8 minimum. It's okay if you have 1 or 2 more. Let's look on the map. Okay, cool. That's looking more reasonable. I'm sure you agree, rather than having 2 very high price properties here. And okay, so 211, so it wasn't far off, okay? But now you know for sure that this is a good conservative price, okay? Why is that? Because you've got a few 2-beds in here. You've got a 2-bed, 1-bath, 2-bed, 1-bath, 2-bed, 1-bath, 3-bed, 1-bath, and then the rest should be like 3 beds. This is a 2-bed, 2-bath. So you got a mix of 2 beds and 3 beds. So yeah, being conservative rather than having 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom properties, okay, which are obviously a lot more desirable, and they all have free parking. You know, it's not a good comparison. So that's what I'll do, okay? So I'm happy with that. It's a little bit less, but I promise you, when you do this, often if you're looking at areas in London or other areas, when you first initially click generate and you fill this information in, never trust these numbers from the get-go, okay? Always, when you do it, scroll down and you can see they will give you 12 comparables, okay? A lot of the time, the comparables are not good comparables, okay? Therefore, like, to get accurate numbers, you want to delete all of them and start over using the same method that I did. It's just the safest way. Like, a lot of deals, sorry, decline that. Let me go back here. A lot of deals that co-sources present to me and say, Cam, this is an amazing deal, it works, you know, like here's the numbers. The first thing I say is send me your comparables, okay? And so often they send me screenshots like this, and I can say, okay, instantly, this isn't going to work, okay? These numbers aren't correct, because you're looking at a 2-bedroom house and you've got a 4-bedroom house here. You've got a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. You know, you're having all these comparables that are bringing the price higher than what the property would achieve, okay? So if you sell a deal like that to someone, you're going to get a bad performing deal. You're going to damage your reputation, and it's just not worth the hassle. Please. So go through this. It takes 10 minutes. Like, you can go through it fast. Like, I could have done that a lot faster. But again, guys, importantly, this is not the full price. You need to deduct 15% of this amount, 211. So let's go like this, calculator, because we're factoring in cleaning costs. Back in the day, we didn't used to do this back in my day, but now Airbnb and stuff and PMI, they merge the pricing with the nightly rates with cleaning fees. So on average, you want to minus like 15% for like more touristy areas and stuff. And if you want to go down like the route, if you're only targeting contractors, if it's only a contractor area, then occasionally you can minus 10%, okay? But 211 minus 15% equals 179. You could say 180. I usually round down a bit, but for this case, let's use 180, okay? So again, to make a deal work well, I'll show you over here. 1 second. £180, okay? So let's just say the rent was £2,000. 3-bedroom house, that's about 220 maybe. Council tax, let's just say 185. I'm just making these numbers up, by the way. So instead of using 211 here and having, you know, the average occupancy 54%, obviously that's an amazing deal. Let's say let's just say £4,000, maybe £500 for painting, decorations, no deposit. So you would initially think like that's an amazing deal at 50% occupancy. You know, you're making money, but we need to look at not this price 211. We need to include after you deduct 15% for cleaning fees, so 180. So we need 180 here. So it goes from making £200 at this profit at 50% occupancy to making minus almost 200, okay? So that can turn a good deal into, well, a deal that you think is good, actually badly. If you do not minus 15% for cleaning, it's the safest way to do it. It is a pain in the ass, but yeah, we want to be conservative, guys. And yeah, I've been in the industry enough, a long time to agree. I think it is 100% the right thing to do. If anyone's selling new deals and they just like inputting the nightly rate here straight from Property Market Intel or AirDNA, I would not work with those people because they haven't been educated properly, and they're selling you a dream that's not gonna work out. So Bob is your uncle. So as you can see, we need to be breaking even at between 50 to 54% occupancy. Okay, 54 is the max. Okay, that's if your property wants to go on Deal Connect on the Samuel Leeds Academy to be listed. It needs to be on. So like, does this mean 54? It's minus 10. It might just go on. Okay, so this is like on the verge of being a deal that wouldn't pass and that I wouldn't even sell to an investor. Okay, you can maybe argue, maybe you can get a different channel manager and drop that down to £50. Okay, so bang, you pretty much break it even here at 54%. So, but if this was like £2,200 and obviously at 50% you're losing that much, I would instantly go like this: 54, what's that? Then I want to minus £200 from that, and that's the amount that I would offer to the landlord. Okay, it's pointless crunching a deal and then if the rent's too high walking away. I would always say, guys, you know, I think I can make it work and find a suitable service accommodation provider to take it on at £2,000, fixed rent guaranteed for 3 years, you know, no void periods. What do you think? Or if you're taking it on yourself, you can say that, you know, we are happy to take it on at this amount. So yeah, obviously 74% occupancy is the average of, as you can see here, it was 74, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 74 there. So at 74, it's still meeting the criteria. Okay, I've said no deposit. If there was a deposit, then this deal would not work. Okay, because again, for a deal to be good, you want to be earning minimum, I said 190, but you really want to be earning 200% ROI, return on your investment. Obviously, we do not include the sourcing fee in here. That's changed a long time ago. We used to put it in, but or the first month's rent as well. We don't put the first month's rent in here because, yeah, let's say we got like a 2-week rent-free period or whatever, that property should be up and running if you do it correctly by the time, and that rent you paid should be coming back to you. Also, you know, you can get in there and turn that property around, get it sorted out in a week if you know, plan correctly and have the force to do so. So again, all of that money should technically, theoretically be coming back to you. So again, you got the property deal and then you got your sourcing fees. Okay, the sourcing fees are actually separate from the deal. You buying the deal, you're paying separately for the service. So yeah, we do not include the sourcing fee. Otherwise, it would be pretty much impossible to make 200%. As you can see, even if we got no deposit and we included a £3,000 sourcing fee, this would not work. Okay, so again, all of my numbers and minimum requirements match Deal Connect, the Samuel Leeds Academy deal selling marketplace. Okay, so if it was £2,000, it would not work. Okay, so maybe we can be like, okay, cool, can we get some rather secondhand furniture, and can we do this, can we do that? Maybe we can do this work ourselves and do it for 200. Maybe we can cut off, you know, recycle one of our furnitures from another place and get it in there. Okay, 190. Maybe we can ask the landlord for a reduced deposit at 1,600. At least he's got something, or 1,700. And you can see here now it's 200%. Okay, so it's ticking all of those boxes. So you can be flexible. There are things you can do to help a deal get over the line, but you know, the landlord's got to be flexible. Hopefully you can get no deposit, as you can see, which is amazing, 300% almost return on investment. Or if you want to be more conservative, it's still meeting, you know, close to 250%. So amazing. So that's what I do personally. That's how I crunch a deal using Property Market Intel. Always remember, like, ideally you want to be breaking even at 50%. So ideally you want to be offering like £1,800. Okay, that's like absolutely amazing, because then at 74% you're earning 1,100. You flying here. Okay, 300%. Even if this is now 1,800, you still over the 200%. So you can say, listen, you know what I mean, you know what I'm talking about. But obviously I try to negotiate the best deals for my investors always, as you should too. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you have any questions, drop me a DM or whatever, message me. I think I'll probably leave my number in the description. But I hope you enjoyed that video. Like, comment, subscribe, dislike, do what you got to do. And yeah, until next time. But that is how you properly crunch a deal on property market intel. Do not just put the address in and click generate and take those numbers. You want to do it manually and make sure that you choose the correct comparables to match your property. Peace out.